Hello. Hi, hey there, patrons in my Just Patreon. This is Jay, or Just Variety. And yes, we are whipping out the yapping background again. But this time, I'm immediately gonna pivot it because I just got home from going back to the gym. And just a quick yap. Now that school is over, I now have more control over my time. So other than the fact that I get to do more Just Variety stuff, I also get to go back to the gym. That's something I kind of stopped doing at around school time. Not even around. When school began and then until school ended, I didn't get to go to the gym because it was too busy. And I was doing Just Variety stuff. So it was difficult to manage both Just Variety and school stuff. Because school stuff took more than, I guess, half my day. With homework being a thing as well. And Just Variety behind the scenes stuff. And speaking of Just Variety behind the scenes stuff, let's pivot it right off the bat by looking at our behind the scenes videos, which tier 3 should have already seen. Tier 3, what is it called again? The functions. Yeah, constants, variables, and functions. Yeah, functions would have access to all 4 of these videos, whereas this specific stream will only be available to variables and functions. But luckily for you, functions, and probably unluckily for, luckily for variables, I need to just start calling them by tier numbers. Lucky for tier 2 members, we will be reviewing the videos that tier 3 is able to see, because I want to talk about behind the scenes process on just how I did some of these. Specifically, I had the original idea that while I was editing the videos that I posted for tier 3, I would like dub over them to say my thought process in the video. But I ran out of time editing the individual videos themselves. And other than that, the exporting time that it took to export these videos were just too much. It took me like what, 3 to 6 hours just to export one video, because the videos are in RAW around 6 hours on them on their own, and I sped up the videos to like 3.5 times their speed. So that's why exporting took so long. And the additional music that I added for background. As for music, respective credits goes out to their respective owners, composers, groups, remixers. Yeah. And with all of the credits and pre-chat, let's head straight to the profile picture. I'm gonna go about this in order of which one I did first, and then the second one I did, the third, and then the fourth. And the first one I did was this. The drawing of my profile picture of the new Just Variety logo. And it was already glossed upon in the tier 3 post when I posted this, that the inspiration for the design of the new Just Variety logos came from sort of came from what's it called? Graffiti, yeah. But I'm not that good in graffiti, nor am I knowledgeable in how graffiti works. Like specific lettering, calligraphy, there we go, and ink drops and designing the text itself. So I just went about it on how I thought graffiti looks like. Other than that, I also went by a specific logo that I took inspiration from. And that logo, I think I can say it. I took inspiration from SS Holox number 2. Holox's second anniversary logo. I took inspiration from this. Some of the lettering that you'll see later on the full quote-unquote Just Variety, not just JV. Some of the letters there I actually got from the SS Holox logo. Like, the R that I used for variety came from the N from second Holox anniversary. Some other stuff I also got from there was actually I can check it out. SS Holox 2. Okay, it auto corrected to solo. SS Holox. There we go. What else? The V from second Aniv. I got the design for this specific letter V from the V from second Aniv of SS Holox 2. But I spiced it up a bit. For example, the little spike poking out on the top left corner of the V, that was actually not in the original lettering for SS Holox 2. But the rest, I think, I practically copied most of it. Yeah, I took inspiration from, there we go. I didn't copy, I took inspiration from. And technically, the idea of graffiti, calligraphy, and stylizing text wasn't Holox's original idea. It's not like innate to just them. Similar to how fighting games can't copyright each other based on the idea that they copied the idea of fighting, because fighting is an innate thing, not necessarily made or invented by, let's say, Street Fighter. So yeah, I'm safe on this one. Other than the lettering, I don't think I took any more inspiration from SS Holox 2 though. I just did the usual bordering and stroking the perimeter of the actual texts themselves, because that's how you do graffiti, as far as I know, where you offset the border by some angle. We'll get to see more of that later. For now, let's focus on this, the Just Variety, the JV profile picture. While setting up for the stream, I actually took a look at the Just Variety logo again, and I was at awe at just how clean it turned out. And that's thanks to certain people that we'll get to talk about later. But yeah, I even tried making a different letter J as was shown earlier. I think we already missed it. But yeah, I think I need to also talk about why I drew a trapezoid, also a swirly. But yeah, let's talk about the trapezoid first. It actually comes from my logo back then, before YouTube, before I even did YouTube. I made logos for myself back then when I like did something past a project or tried making a personal project, a physical personal project, or whatever it is that's related to me, Jay. I made a logo for myself back then, and the logo had the trapezoid, and the origin for the trapezoid itself is from, I forgot how Past Jay did this, but he searched like symbolisms of such, like certain shapes and whatnot. I forgot what specifically trapezoid symbolizes, but if I were to take a guess right now, I think it's the idea of putting priorities in a hierarchy, where the top part obviously is your top priority and the bottom part is your lower priority. But there's no point to explaining this too much. And that was kind of a bad joke because quote unquote point I thought is because a trapezoid is kind of a cut off triangle, but there are way more points here than there are, or no, there are more vertices here than there are vertices on a triangle. A triangle having 3 and this having 4, so that joke didn't really land. But yeah, I think it's because of hierarchy of prioritizing stuff. I think that's what the trapezoid originally represented. But this time, as Just Variety, the YouTube channel, I thought of just referencing that former logo that I used to do for myself. And not only that, the swirly as well, is another, for me, personal reference to my logo back then. It's quite literally just like this. It's a trapezoid with a swirl behind it with my initials written on inside the trapezoid. I guess one difference of this logo from my logo back then before YouTube is that the initials that I used were bounded within the trapezoid, but this time my initials were poking out of the trapezoid because I thought that looked more dynamic and more cool, I guess. More graffiti-esque, because I think graffiti gives you the idea of breaking free from the constraints of common comings. So you don't have to follow certain like rules. You just kind of do the street art and spray paint on the wall, which we'll come to later in the banner because I took that as an inspiration for the banner as well. But yeah, the swirly, the symbolism for the swirly, I think Past J thought of it as, or saw someone say that the symbolism for a swirly with 2 sticks poking out of it is this is quite fitting actually now that I'm just variety. The swirly indicates the variety of things, how it's all over the place, and that you can like act here and then be there and then do this sort of stuff while also focusing on some other things, stuff like that. So it's all over the place, which might sound bad, but in our case, variety is actually pretty good. And how we manage that variety is with the 2 sticks pointing out on the top and at the bottom. That, from what I remember, symbolizes how you can like pinpoint a certain point of interest in the swirly and the variety of it all. So for example, right now, the variety would be us in doing games, outside stuff, drawing, reacting, whatever other stuff I have planning or I have already done, challenge runs. Yeah, the sticks would be then this stream right now, pinpointing the specific theme for this stream being yapping, talking about behind the scenes of how I did the logo, the banner, the intro, and the outro. So that's basically the simple symbolism of the trapezoid and the swirly behind the trapezoid. There's not really a necessary symbolism as to why the swirly is behind the trapezoid. I just thought it looked cool. It would be weird if... I think it would look messy and kind of disjoint if the swirly was in front of the trapezoid and then the JV would be in front of the swirly. I think that's too chaotic. Sure, it might be dynamic, but we solved the dynamic problem later anyway with the design. So yeah, here's what I was talking about. Putting the JV initials outside of the trapezoid to make it more dynamic, and it looks like it's in action. Right now, I'm retracing the JV that I did because me enlarging the J and the V lowered the strokes' quality, the individual pencil strokes that I did using my brush. And this time, I'm trying to color the J and V. And then I resorted to just using a bucket, the bucket tool, while adjusting its opacity. I think that's what I did. Yeah, that's just a placeholder for now, and while doing this, I didn't realize that I shouldn't have erased the background trapezoid, because that would have been more useful to work with in other projects as well. And just having cohesion. See, now I'm removing it because I forgot that I would be coloring within the transparent layer. The first, the white border of J and V. But yeah, the border made it look more dynamic. The like accents on the inside the trapezoid also made it look more dynamic. Now I'm coloring. I'm having a hard time like giving the individual parts placeholders for their colors. And now I'm retracing it with a better brush because I thought that the pencil brush looked kinda grainy and I didn't like that. I was really set on making it look like graffiti while also giving the impression of variety. Right now I'm just really being inefficient because this is my first time doing this in a long time. But I gotta say, I am proud of myself for putting effort in taking these meticulous steps that were unnecessary. The positive thing in all of this is that now I've learned to not erase the background, just color the foreground later, and probably start off with the brush that I already want to work with, unless I'm actually sketching it out. So probably sketch it out and then immediately use the appropriate brush after, instead of sketch and then sketch again and then brush. That took away like an hour, almost an hour of my time just making that work. And then this time I'm trying to figure out the designs for the insides of J and V. I already had my mindset that I wouldn't design the trapezoid itself because one, it's on the background, and two, JV are the main attractions. I also didn't want to make the individual letters J and V too different, but I want them to be different in a sense that they have different designs but the same style. There we go. Right now I'm trying to figure out a design for the trapezoid itself. I eventually ended up using just plain colors, no accents, no layer effects, I think. But yeah, at some point I did just layer out all of the designs on top of each other, and then the designs that we're about to see in a short while after Past J outlines the outline once more. For the fourth time this video. Oh wait, I just realized the video audio might be too loud. There we go. So I might have been yapping this entire time and I wasn't being heard because the video audio was too loud. Okay, I'm lowering it a bit. I think this is good. There we go. was just yapping this entire time and I wasn't being heard. That would have been bad. That would be bad. I'm not sure if I was actually being heard or not. But yeah, this time I'm giving the letters more accents to make it look 3D, give that graffiti style to it. And yeah, outlining the swirly. I didn't add the swirly behind the parallelogram, and that actually bit me back when I was doing the intro, because I needed a full swirly to animate the loading part. Oh, and here we go. I think, yeah, this design was actually given to me by Bash. I asked the group chat, I asked, okay, so this is my test, or not test, this is my new profile picture. What designs are good? Bash recommended the grayscale design, while Zoomer recommended blue, purple, and red colors. Oh, yeah. But at some point, it's kinda hard to tell because the video is sped up. But I took some time just thinking about it, so OBS was just left there recording me doing nothing. I was thinking of, okay, what design will I actually do? I don't like just plain grayscale that looks dead. I didn't like how I executed Zoomer's idea. I thought I could do it better, but I was at my wit's end already. And then there I realized that the border for the J and V were transparent layers, so I had to color them in on a separate layer. Ultimately, I ended up okay, pause just a minute. This is going by really quickly. But yeah, ultimately I ended up using a design that mixed my first idea. The first idea was the RGB splotches on the J, but I didn't really like it. I feel like it stood out, but it left out the negative space of the J, so the rest of the J was practically invisible. You could only ever see the splotches. Like, yeah, they're bounded by the shape of the J, but you couldn't see the J because you were too busy focusing on the vibrant colors of the J and V. So I ditched that idea and then tried out doing some of the nerds' ideas. Bash's idea was this, the grayscale with the white parts on it. Now I'm trying to do Zoomer's idea, where it's just purple, blue, and red. In hindsight, I thought it was pretty good, but I think I could have made better motifs inside the J and V, just not just solid colors. But as I was already getting pretty tired, if I remember correctly, I tried doing most of the logo in one day, in one sitting, so I could proceed to editing it and then exporting the video while making the banner, and then that strategy would be done for the intro and outro as well, where the video for the banner would be exporting while I was doing the intro. I thought that was pretty efficient, but as we will see later with the intro, my PC apparently can't handle it, so I had to resort to doing one at a time. But yeah, this is Zoomer's idea. Oh, I add shines, but I think that's it. I had the idea. I didn't know what came to me. I just thought of, you know what? What would these two designs look like if I mix them together? Like, they're so different. I don't particularly like just sticking to one. There's not really a sense of variety. So how about these two things? Mix them together and maybe let's just say that, oh yeah, sure, having two designs, mix them together, that's variety. But after doing it, it's pretty good actually. I just have both of their transparencies, Bash's design and Zoomer's design, and it looked pretty good. Zoomer's design on top of Bash's design looked like it was a gel casing for something, and that's when I had the idea. Oh, you know what? We could probably implement my idea as well. So there we go. I returned back to the splotches and just to sell the deal so I can visualize the V as well, let's add a design to V as well. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if we chose the primary colors for light, I guess, for J with RGB, and then let's use the primary colors for printing with V being CMY. I didn't include K because K was already the border of JV and basically the rest of the other things as well. The not parallelogram, the trapezoid and the swirly behind it. So I thought of ditching black. Plus, this made it so that both the J and V had the same amount of colors, having 3 each, RGB and CMY. But I had the creative idea of, you know what, why not mix one of the colors? So it's like the case with Google, where if you look at Google's logo, it follows a pattern up until the green L, right? You know what, I'm gonna search just to verify that. Google. It auto-corrected to a different site. Google. There you go. So yeah, it follows the pattern blue, red, yellow, and then you would assume it's gonna go blue, red, yellow again, but no, it breaks the cycle by being blue, green, red. So it's blue, red, yellow, and then blue, green, red. I thought of that when I was doing this. Let's break the pattern, but still stick to the familiar, to what's familiar to us, which is the 3 primary colors of their respective things. The J being primary colors of light, and then the V being primary colors of the printer. And mixing colors in the printer is pretty known, I think, so that's why it's easier to accept this specific break in the pattern in the printer part of mixing in the printer part of designing stuff. I'm so out of it today. I'm so tired from the gym. Also yesterday, a really quick Yappa 2, I guess. Yesterday we started filming one of our videos that me and the nerds are gonna do, and it's very tiring. On top of that, we also worked out at the gym yesterday, and because I didn't have a stream yesterday, I fully used my day. I basically used most of my day at the gym doing gym stuff, and then after that doing our video project, me and the nerds. So it was also pretty fun because Zoomer was very in on it. He was invested, there we go. And I really like that. It looks like he was enjoying our project. And now he's like brainwashed. Whenever someone brings it up, we try talking about it again and doing it. And yeah, I am recording video process. I'm not sure if I'm gonna post it though. So who knows? Stay tuned for that. It's pretty awesome. I'm gonna send some exclusive stuff to the Patreon. But the final version of the project, I'm most likely gonna post public. Which is pretty cool because I'm proud of what we're doing. We're still not done yet. We're not even half of the way there to finishing our project. But it looks pretty cool. To me, at least. I think it will look cool. It's pretty fun to do. That's for sure. But yeah, more on the design. Since Bash and Zoomers' idea look like casing, yeah, I utilized it here to make it so that it looked like the design of the RGB and the CMY are encased within a gel casing. This made it so that the RGB CMY weren't too vibrant that they took all of your attention, but also still there so that you can see the variety in design. That's literally my only thought process in this. I wanted so that there are different designs. I'm already set on that after mixing Bash and Zoomers' design. But then I also wanted to incorporate mine because mixing just theirs were kind of dull and bland. I'm not saying their designs were bad. Their designs were actually what made me finish this. I'm just saying that I think there needs to be more design, and more design I had. Luckily, I did the RGB splotches before doing Bash and Zoomer's idea. I need to stop saying sisses. That's only for plural stuff. And not the deceased kind of plural. The multiple stuff. And yeah, I mixed both of them. I think it turned out pretty good. I also erased some of the gel casing to make some of the colors of the RGB CMY more vibrant, but not a majority of it. It looks like it's shining. Oh, and if you noticed, the erased gel casing on J are like streaks, while the internal design are splotches. And then the erased design on the gel casing of V is splotches, and the internal design are streaks. So it's opposites of each other. I thought that was a pretty cool detail to add. And now I'm trying to format the swirl behind the JV. I'm gonna be honest, I had no idea how to like do anything else with the spiral behind it. So I was kind of tempted to just leave it be. But I thought, since the main color of the gel casing is purple, it's kind of hard to notice, but it is. It's like a dead purple with its opacity halved. So I thought, make the swirly, since it's on the background, a vibrant orange. A vibrant orange glow. So it wouldn't take all of the attention while still being a complementary to the purple gel casing. And then now I'm trying to do the background, yeah. The background, oh actually, I'm wrong. I thought the SS Holox 2 references or inspiration would stop at the lettering. But no, this actually came from the SS Holox's background too. Specifically from Iroha's background, using the shade of green. Yeah, it's generally on green. Now I'm spray painting kind of the background of JV to give it more accents. So to make it look more lively, because it's just a gradient background and there's not much happening. So I thought of adding just a couple of accents, and after I discovered this brush, actually I kept using it now because it looked cool just to accent stuff, so it doesn't look bland. And yeah, I think this was the streaks I came up with. It's not a lot, but it's enough so that the background doesn't look empty. It's just enough. And there you have it, just a variety of designs just from the Just Variety logo. What a mouthful. The designs were a mix of graffiti. There were symbolisms behind the JV, the border, the stroke of the JV, the RGB splotches, the CMY streaks, the gel casing streak and blob windows, I guess. It's so difficult to talk about this because terms are evading me right now. Not only are words evading me, also terms. Like, what do I call these? The clear parts of the quote-unquote gel casing. That also was just a name I thought of calling it right now. That wasn't the official name of this. There aren't any official names for this. Just the fact that this is called JV channel logo, and that's it. You can see it on the top part of the video. But yeah, I thought this turned out pretty cool actually. So I'm pretty proud of this. And yeah, that's the end of the video. Wow, and the video just disappeared. That's crazy. So that was my idea for doing the Just Variety logo. It was pretty simple, but that started to kickstart. Or no, it wasn't simple. It was complicated. But formatted or stylized in a way so that it looks both complicated and simple at the same time. Like, you would take a glance at the Just Variety logo and you wouldn't think that, oh yeah, this is complicated, but you also wouldn't think that, oh yeah, this is simple, because you'd see that there are already action behind in the background. And then when you look at the main attraction, JV, you'd see that there are designs inside, but they're kind of simplified with the layer on top of them, just with an opacity that's halved, so it looks like they're kind of encased in that layer. So it simplifies the complicated design inside the gel casing. I'm just gonna call it gel casing. But after simplifying the design inside the gel casing, thanks to the gel casing then also has a design of its own, being the open windows to the internal design, which are the RGB-CMY. So that already is pretty complicated. And not to mention the dynamism. I'm not sure if that's a real word, but the dynamic-esque of the lettering itself, JV. It's pretty spiky. It goes all over the place, especially the J part. It even stabs itself with the border. And then it slowly comes down, CALM, it slowly comes down at the trapezoid. That's where you can like rest your eyes, because I figured in designing stuff, it's always important to leave a space for resting your eyes. It can't be all action, or else your eyes are gonna be tired. They wouldn't know where to focus on, where to look at. So in the Just Variety logo, you look at the JV, but if you aren't like exceptionally brain active, like you're tired like me right now. I'm not brain active. I just look at the trapezoid and the swirly. And then the background itself, again, has design of its own, but not too complicated that it works your brain out. It's pretty simple to look at, and yeah, it's pretty intricate, I think. It's in a superposition between being complicated, complex, and simple. I think that's what it's all about. But yeah. Up next, we have the Just Variety banner. Again, respective music. Much like last time, No, not much like last time. This is the first time. And yes, I did use the same thumbnail for our karaoke stream. I just very quickly went to the Just Variety YouTube channel and tried changing the banner just to get a glimpse of what can be seen on all devices. And then I overlaid it here. So I know I wouldn't be overstepping the all devices boundaries. I still want the Just Variety to be seen wherever device you're looking at, because it's gonna be weird if you can only see a tiny bit of the bottom part of Just and then a tiny bit of Variety on top, or just Variety, or maybe right. Yeah, right, because it cuts the banner depending on which device you're using. So that's what I thought. And yeah, these letterings are now mostly taken from the SS Holox 2 logo. Some of them I just went off of based on what I think the letters would look like. You can obviously tell that from the letter A, because there's no lowercase a on the SS Holox 2nd anniversary logo. I just had to come up with my own. There's also no E, but I think I did the E pretty clean. It's not too over the place. The S, it's kind of weird because it tries so hard to look awesome, but at the end it's just being covered up by the U and the T. Oh, the layering of the letters was another thing that I took note of. I thought of having the letters alternate in just, but in variety, I thought of like stacking them on top of each other. So B is at the bottom, and then A is on top of it, and then R, I, E, then Y. And here I was just going back and forth to the logo already, checking its design and then directly copying that off of the original. I even copied the colors I used for the gel casing and then put it at 50% opacity in the Just Variety banner. I separated the design that Bash and Zoomer thought of. So Zoomer's design is on U and R, while Bash's design are on S and A. So I just took down some notes there. At I, E, and Y, I kinda ran out of ideas on what designs I should do. I only ever did 3 designs, which were Bash, Zoomer, and my design. So I had no idea what to do. But for the letter T, I was pretty sure that I was going to swap the theming around. There we go, yeah. Having the RGB be the strokes this time, and having the CMY be the fluid this time. But not the fluid like the splotches on J. Fluid as in it's liquid, it's water, it's flowing inside the T. And the CMY still mixes, but with a different color now, they make green. And I thought to keep it true to the CMY design of the letter V, I also mixed some of the colors in the T in Just. It gets pretty confusing pretty quick in commentating over this with all of the designs and unofficial names of stuff because I don't know what to name these. And yeah, here comes the border, like in the logo as well. This time I learned my mistake. I just bucketed this and then traced out the edges because they were kind of offset. And then I added a separate layer that's just a copy of the black border of Just Variety and then gave it a stroke and then moved it down right so that it looks like it has a shadow. Here's the parallelogram. I wrote JV in a very subtle white pencil brush. I maintained the design on the swirly, but added a white background because I know for a fact that the background wouldn't be just a simple color. I thought it would be cool if we truly sell the deal with the graffiti look, and I thought of making a brick wall, and so did Bash. So I tried doing that, but I just can't. So I took a wall from something else that I liked and then tried copying its design. You can see it right there at the bottom of Variety. And yeah. Oh, I guess I didn't really talk much about the design of I and E in Variety. In I just thought of a glass pane window with all of the different colors. But I didn't think about how they were made. So I just let it be. And I thought I could also like try and copy the style of my the style that I did on my Twitter banner for the dot part of the I, which is supposed to be like a reference to my computer. Yeah, because if you go to my Twitter account, shameless plug. I'm sorry. If you go to my Twitter and then look at the banner that I'm using, or header, whatever it's called, you can see the drawing that I did in my first 2 streams. And there, I had my computer have an RGB design on the fans. I thought it was a cool callback reference if I tried doing that for that dot part of the eye, because it's a pretty small rectangle, not too long like the body of the eye. So it could be like a cool mini computer. And then the red, green, and blue inside the fans would be its RGB lights. For the E, I like studying, as we'll also be doing some math competition stuff tomorrow just to sell the deal in this whole E idea. But yeah, E being one of the mathematical constants, Euler's number, I thought why not? I'm gonna make the design of E focus on like a blackboard and it had text on it because I also like studying, not necessarily school, but yeah, I like studying, I like math, so it's pretty fitting to put it in E. And I already talked about my design on the two T's. I would just swap around the style and the format of J and V. And it breaks the pattern quite clean, I would say. Because you already expect, since we swapped out the shapes but not the colors, then you would expect that we'd also keep the mixing in V. So RGB are splotches, and it copied the design of the V being strokes and having mixing colors. So yeah, you would expect that the T in just would also mix colors because it copies what V looks like. The only difference is just its colors. So yeah, you're right there. That's a pattern. But let's also break the pattern and have the T in variety also mix colors. Because now that CMY, the strokes, become CMY blobs, copying the J design, then you would expect that they don't mix anymore, following the pattern. But let's break the pattern by continuing the other T's pattern of still mixing colors. So I thought that was pretty cool. Just a pretty simple design idea. And it's not even noticeable, or at least from this far away. But when I was making it, I thought it was pretty cool. For the design on letter Y, I legit just ran out of ideas. While I was formatting some other stuff of the banner, I kept going back to the transparent layer, and seeing it reminded me, oh, why not just make it so that Y looks like a transparent background? But I thought, maybe not. That's not a good idea because it's just plain white and the stroke is already white. And it's near the swirly that has a white background. So I thought, then let's just make it the null texture design if you don't have a texture. And I think it turned out pretty cool. It stands out, that's for sure. But if you only focus on Y, you're missing out on a lot. So in essence, all of the individual designs of each letter of just variety are taking attention from each other. But I think I managed to make it so that they work all so well together. Having Bash and Zoomer's design space out the J and V from the other new designs are also pretty good. Because you can look at the JV and have a sense of familiarity because, oh, like, yeah, they're the main designs of the logo. And then you can break it down to US and AR. That's the gel casing and the gray accent. But then you move onward to the rest of the pattern. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, as for the background, there's really nothing special. I just copied what a dirty wall would look like. A dirty blue wall. And yeah. There you go. Just added these designs as well. I don't know what they are. I just got inspiration to add the little circle things on the wall. That's actually inspired. I'm not sure if anyone will get this, so I'm just gonna outright say it. It's inspired from Suisei's Awake, in the section where she and other fan artists have their art on the wall that's just scrolling in the credits, or even before the credits where Suisei herself spray painted the wall. I took that design and then tried making my own version of it. And I'll admit it looks pretty goofy, but I think that fits. I think that fits the brand of me. I'm not really known for being serious anyway, and the little circle dots are pretty goofy. It looks like I took them so unseriously, but in fact, the video just sped up and I decided to cut some parts out. But I was like really struggling on how I can make the lines of this wall and the dots within each cell consistent while not looking like roboty, I guess. and static. I still wanted it to look dynamic, but not too dynamic. Just like 1% dynamic. So that it's still active, so it doesn't bore you, but it doesn't take too much attention or any attention away from the logo itself. The full Just Variety logo. And that's pretty cool. I think I should also extract the Just Variety logo. I also opted, I didn't talk about this earlier, but yeah, I opted to make the trapezoid smaller and not enclose the entire Just Variety. Because as you've probably seen from the start, when I traced out the trapezoid, it was pretty big. Like, yeah, where's it? Yeah. The original idea was this, and it would look kind of goofy. Because I had the idea, since the trapezoid is pointing upward, and Just is shorter than Variety, then we can have the left and right sides of the trapezoid be pointing up to aid the shortness of Just, and then the longer side at the bottom would like enclose Variety. But yeah, it just looked weird. I think this is better. It's simple, and it now also looks like the lettering of Just Variety. I think that's pretty consistent, which is pretty good, but dynamic enough, and I guess it somewhat breaks the pattern as well. There's not really a pattern for the parallelogram. No, trapezoid, as I've said before. But yeah. And I also didn't finish the background. The part of the trapezoid that you don't see, I didn't finish it. Yeah. That very quick second of me hiding the layer of Just Variety. You could see that there was nothing else behind the J and the V when it came to the trapezoid. I literally just got lazy. And then later, when I was doing the intro, speaking of the intro, let's head to that right now. Speaking of the intro, I actually paid for my sins there. One of the original ideas is I would have the trapezoid be part of would enclose Just Variety this time, like the entire words Just Variety, but the trapezoid would still be the same size. It would just be behind, and Just Variety would be a bit smaller. But yeah, I realized I didn't do anything behind the J and V in the banner. So I scrapped that idea. Instead, I just did this. But yeah, before continuing, I'm just gonna grab water real quick too. This continuous yapping and me drying out from working out. Now I realize why when Past J was streaming after working out, I always had water beside me. But recently, when I was doing school work and Just Variety, I started not having water beside me and just went to fetch a couple of water every now and then. But yeah, now I realize working out takes a lot of water from me. My throat is getting drier and drier as I speak. So yeah, I'm gonna grab a bottle of water real quick. Alright, I was muted. But yeah, oh my gosh, I grabbed a bottle of water, and then when I sat down here to stream again, I just finished the bottle of water. It would have been better if I drank the bottle of water and then just threw it away while I was away from where I'm streaming here. Because now I have to, after stream, I have to take the bottle with me and then throw it away. But yeah. But yeah, intro. The intro, as I already talked about on a different stream, I forgot where. The original inspiration of this logo is Tears of the Kingdom, the loading screen for Tears of the Kingdom. And then these electric stuff were just my idea. I needed something that would border the left side and then the right side. And yeah, here's me trying it out. I had the original idea of having the right side because in Tears of the Kingdom, the right side or the left side, I mirrored this one. The left side of the screen would be the map of where you were. So I figured here I'd have the thumbnail be on the right side because one, it's mirrored. Two, I'm taking inspiration from Tears of the Kingdom. And here's just me animating for the first time in what, years? This is the first time I've animated ever again. And I never learned how to actually animate. So I'm just doing whatever I thought was cool. And then yeah, here's me formatting a lot of stuff. And yeah, you saw me earlier like try using the logo background as the background for the left side of the screen, but it looked weird stretched, so I just made a new one. I had to re-gradient the background again, and here's me animating the spiral like the spiral that you can see right now, or not right now, the spiral that I actually finished doing in the intro that we use now. There we go. That was so difficult, my words, bro. But yeah, this was always been the idea. The spiral would slowly get filled up, and then the spikes at both ends of the spiral would get charged, and they would take the energy from the spiral itself and then jump outward and then dissipate the energy and then put it back. So yeah, here's me trying to test it out. I'm doing it for a lot more cycles. I could just loop the animation of itself, but I thought of, what if every time that the spiral charged, each battery would get filled up, and then once the batteries got filled up, that's when the file got corrupted. But yeah, after jumping, after like getting charged and discharging the energy in the spiral and then the sticks, the sticks that are poking out, a battery would get charged, and once all three batteries are charged, the spiral would stop charging for a bit, and then the batteries would release the electricity you can see at the side of the JV. That was such an awesome idea in my opinion. But yeah, as the video said, sadly, the file got corrupted. Yeah, that was the 3 hours of my life that I lost on a project. But the good thing is, I did learn from this because this was my first time animating in a long time, and this is my first time animating in Krita. Yeah. But yeah, after what? After that experience, I just manned up, shook it off, and then learned from my mistakes. And then here's me spacing out the individual icons as well, because I'm pretty sure they have to be at certain distances to each other. So I just had to actually distance them out. And that was me messing around with the popular I love you trick with the math formula. Not even formula, I think. The math expression, yeah. It's also not an equation because there was no equal sign, so you can't call it an expression. There's me retracing the spiral, me paying for my sins. Not really paying for my sins, but because I forgot. No, I didn't forgot. I erase the spiral in the Just Variety logo. So I couldn't just directly extract it and enlarge it. I had to individually trace out the broken parts. And then yeah, here's me animating this again. Originally earlier, I was just stretching and manipulating the image of these sticks. This time, I'm actually drawing out each frame and looking at them one at a time. I wanted it to have a cartoony feel of it squishing before its jump and then stretching out and then lingering at the peak of its jump for a bit and then slowly floating back to its original state. And yeah, the PC crashed. So I had to redo some of the stuff again and then I forgot I wasn't recording. But yeah, after finishing up animation in the spiral and then the sticks themselves, both the charging up and then the jumping out, and while jumping out, charging up and dissipating the energy, I started, oh my gosh, I started trying to animate the spray paint behind the spiral. I thought about while the spiral was charging, the spray paint behind it would be like electricity charging out. And yeah, this is me finishing it. And I tried implementing it to the stream. This is actually footage from OBS itself. And yeah, that's the format I do now. The like next tip screen in Breath of the Wild is replaced by what the stream title would be. And this is actually me exporting it. There we go. And the top left, the hearts, these are supposed to be hearts, but they're supposed to be on the right side on the original. I just mirrored them and now they're on the top left side, are the credits for the music. But now to accompany the bluish theme of the intro screen, I decided to outright change all of the moving gradient strokes of the music credit of everything, just to make it fitting. But maybe red could also be... No, red is too vibrant, I think. I thought of copying the color of hearts. Could also be just black. But the icons are already black. Aside from YouTube. YouTube is gray. YouTube is quirky like that. But yeah. And if you also notice, in the first stream that I implemented this on, which was the postgraduate yapping stream, Discord and Patreon weren't there because they were part of the surprise that stream. And now I use the one with Discord and Patreon on them because I've officially announced them now. And you can go check them out with links in the description of this video. And you're probably currently on Patreon right now, so I don't need to say that anymore unless you share this to someone else and you're just watching on YouTube. But this is an embedded video on YouTube. You could also record it, but please don't. Please have these Patreon stream be exclusive to patrons only. I would appreciate that. Thank you. But yeah, as for the Discord, there should be a pinned no, I don't think there's a pinned link in my Patreon. But in my YouTube streams that I haven't done yet, because this is the first one after the post-graduation Yappa. Oh no, the karaoke. But that's also Patreon exclusive. But yeah, you can just go wander around, look for where my Discord link is. Tomorrow is gonna be a public stream, so the Discord and the Patreon links would be present there, and then from there on out, it would always be present at the YouTube description, which is what the outro is pointing at. So we're done with intro. Let's look at outro. For the outro, this was one of the last couple of stuff that I worked on. I'm not sure if you heard me because the music there was pretty loud. But yeah, the outro was one of the last couple of stuff that I worked on. I honestly had no idea. Oh wait, no. I actually had an idea already. What I didn't have was time to make it look any better. But yeah, the original idea has always been Dude, the little guy that I draw on my thumbnails. Dude would be cleaning up the graffiti that I would write. I thought it was going to be a pretty fitting I guess conclusion to all of the graffiti themed stuff that I made. The graffiti logo, the graffiti loading screen, the graffiti banner. So after stream, it's like I don't want to promote like vandalism unless it's I was about to say unless you're given permission to vandalize, but at that point, are you still vandalizing? Because I'm pretty sure vandalism means prohibited or unallowed drawing on a certain place or doing art or something like that. But yeah, anyway, my original idea was just all cutesy. I didn't have any idea as to why I think this is. I just thought it was fitting, and yeah, I also animated this one because I thought it was gonna look pretty cool. And the animation for this time around was only done 4 frames per second because I wanted it to look like one of those clip animations or animatics. I don't know. I wanted to have a certain style that I don't know what it's called. So I just went with that. And yeah, this is me coloring it individually now. After animating the intro, this has been such a good break to do. And yeah, it's just dude trying to clean up the Just Variety graffiti. For the stream done, I had no idea what to do, so I just slowly drew each one bit by bit, and then I'm just gonna follow it up with more dude animations at the bottom layer. Because this is taking too many frames to completely write stream done. I also wanted to implement the thanks for watching, but I didn't know how to do it, so I thought of, you know what, since we're just cleaning up the Just Variety graffiti, might as well clean up the stream done that I wrote. So yeah, here's me wiping it with a pretty quick thanks for watching at the top. Wait, Past J still hasn't drawn that part. But yeah, watching this sped up is such a different what is it, perspective, I think. It looks pretty weird, but yeah, one of my original ideas was also putting dude in what, like a city setting or whatever, just a place with signs. So there are walls, there are signs, there are buildings, and then I thought the signs it would be cool if the signs were the individual socials that I had, which were YouTube, Twitter or X, Discord, and Patreon. Like a pretty good and not in your face way of promoting it. It was just tiny bits of detail here and there, but I didn't know how to do them, which was the sad part. So I just fully went in on the goofiness on the goofiness of the outro being dude, because whenever dude is there, it's always pretty goofy. Like, have you seen my thumbnails where dude is present? He's just there, minding his own business, doing whatever, being liquid, being ran over by a shopping cart, whatever. Cooking, being terrified, holding a flashlight, being held by the head, being cooked and overcooked. Yeah, I just fully went in on the goofiness and just didn't even try. And another reason why I didn't even try, I wish I could have, honestly, is that I was already running out of time. The announcement stream was on Friday, Philippine Standard Time. I finished this on the night before Friday, on Thursday night. And my stream was the morning after. So I was already trying to finish this, rush this. I thought of animating this, but I thought that would also take too much time, especially when I start exporting the animation and then started editing it. So what I did was just have the video footage of me animating the outro marinate while I was doing some other stuff, some other real life stuff, like eating dinner, washing the dishes, taking a shower, and then going to sleep. And then I just woke up like a couple of hours later. I took like a somewhat mid power nap. And then after I woke up, I finished exporting, or no, the video editing software that I use, VSDC, finished exporting it. Then I shut my computer off to save electricity because yeah. And then the day after, I immediately rushed. When I woke up the morning after exporting this and making this, I immediately went to the computer and oh man, I need to place the individual songs, credit them not only on stream itself with the effects, but also on the video description, have that put in my preset. So whenever I create a new stream, it's always going to be there, credited. And then yeah, I realized at the day of my announcement that, oh wait, I still haven't announced the Discord and the Patreon yet, so I have to make a new intro. So I very quickly exported a different intro animation for that just one specific day that I still haven't announced Discord and Patreon, so that it wouldn't give it away. And I guess it kind of worked out because it looked like unlocking the divine beasts in Breath of the Wild. But yeah, I gotta thank myself though, because I woke up pretty early despite waking up in the middle of the night just to finish off the exporting the video of this one, the outro. And then after that, after me setting up for stream, oh, before setting up stream as well, I also did edit the pictures that I showed on stream, which were my graduation pictures and some pictures with the nerds, the jump shot one, the medals, the diploma, etc. Yeah. And that went by pretty quickly, actually. I guess my thought process was more played out when I was actually doing these individual stuff. But now that I've collected all of them, I guess I can really formulate my words, though not the best because I have the excuse that I went to the gym. Haha, I'm tired. But yeah, hopefully sometime soon I get the hang of going to the gym again and feel less tired when I'm streaming. But this is still pretty fun, like going back watching my videos and watching past J for sure, even though there are no one speaking on these videos. Just for a fact, I know that past J is losing it. And watching it again while also giving out my thought process while doing these, it was pretty fun. But one thing though, the stream is happening pretty quickly and I need more water. So be right back again. There we go. I drank a lot. I drank almost half a liter. Now let's remove this. I drank almost half a liter. Surely I'm not gonna be thirsty anytime soon. And my throat shouldn't dry out as quickly. But yeah, I lost a lot of sweat, a lot of water while working out earlier as well as yesterday. Yesterday, oh my gosh, this stream just became a yapping stream. But yeah, yesterday me and the nerds have been working to finish, or not to finish, because there's no way we're gonna finish that in a day. But yeah, we spent the first half of the day yesterday just working out at the gym, and then the later half of the day filming the project that we have. It was very tiring. I think we should have filmed the project first before working out, because working out made our muscles tired, which made it harder to film. But hopefully, the next time we film, it's going to be better. Where me, Bash, and Zoomer, or not Zoomer. Zoomer's pretty physically fit. He's like probably, or no, not even probably. He's like the strongest among us. Yeah. So hopefully me and Bash, or maybe even me, because Bash doesn't look like he gets tired that quickly. Hopefully I get used to working out again to the point that I can save up a lot of stamina to film the project that we're doing. As for the release of the project though, I'm still not sure when I'm gonna release it, because one, it's still not finished, two, I still have to edit it, and three, I want it to be uploaded on the same day I upload here on Patreon the additional footage, the exclusive Patreon footage, the Patreon exclusive footage that will come with the public release of the project itself. Because I've actually talked about this on the pre-Yap stream, I think, or the post-Yap stream, post-graduation, pre or post-graduation Yap stream. But I'm the type of person that really enjoy watching the behind the scenes of how stuff are done, especially stuff that I enjoyed watching. It makes me appreciate the thing that I just watched even more. And sometimes I learn something new. So maybe I can, this time, not even maybe, this time, I want to be that person. I want to be that group that provides the behind the scenes. I'm going to do it so that the Patreons will have that too. Excuse me, I just sneezed. I'm smelling something funky here. It kind of smells good though. I think someone's cooking up lunch already. My voice just from sneezing. My throat feels so rough just from sneezing. I think it obliterated every drop of water that I had just drank earlier. Oh my gosh. Can't even hear myself. Oh, and I also kind of want to talk about the the karaoke stream that I did last week. I had one of my friends listen to it. I had this friend hasn't been referred to in any streams yet, but this friend is one of my friends that I often sing with. And when my friend heard it, my friend said, "That's you? That sucks." She said, yes, it's a girl. She said that like, why did I sing like that? Because she said when we sang together, it sounded like singing actually. What I did on stream last week, she said that it just sounded like I wasn't singing. That's a pretty common insult, by the way, in the Philippines. I'm not sure if that's a common insult as well in other places, but yeah, she said that she asked if I was reading or I was singing, and both of us came to the same conclusion. We think it's because I was nervous to sing on stream, as well as sing here where I am physically, because there are other people here as well. I stream basically in our living room. So sometimes there are other people as well, and I was kind of getting nervous not only streaming to the patrons, but also singing to the patrons and singing with other IRL audience as well, that I can see their faces, their reactions, also their verbal reactions. That made me pretty nervous. And another thing is, usually, apparently, this is what my friend said. Apparently, I have an accent when I sing, which made it sound better because it sounds like I'm going with the flow of the song. That's the quote unquote accent that my friend told me. And I think that has something to do with the fact that I sang with my headphones on. Because when I sing with my friend, obviously I don't have headphones. We just blast the music here in our home. And then while the music is blasting, we could hear ourselves. We could hear each other. So I could actually hear myself how I sung. So I could live adjust on how I sounded. But when I was streaming the karaoke last week, as I've said, I've put the volume of my headphones to the max, on my side at least, so that I couldn't hear myself. But I guess me not hearing myself made me sound like a robot. And another idea that me and my friend came up with is probably because I was on streaming mode. My brain was on streaming mode, so I kept thinking, oh yeah, I have to talk like I was talking to people, because I don't talk to people how I sing. That's gonna be kind of weird. Imagine me just talking to Bash and saying, "Oh hey Bash," or something like that. That would be weird. So I think one of the other things that kind of hindered my singing, and this is just me finding excuses at this point, but I was kind of also dismayed because I feel like I was comfortable singing. Yeah, I was on streamer mode, I think. I was kind of dismayed because I was feeling comfortable singing last week, but apparently I wasn't. I was kind of getting nervous. But it felt like I wasn't though, so maybe it really did came down to me thinking that I'm in streaming mode and I couldn't hear my own voice, so I couldn't adjust how I sang. Yeah, I guess entirely environmental shock on my part. And I'm not saying I'm good at singing and then the stream experience just butchered it. What I'm saying is that I felt comfortable while singing on stream, but my voice did. I want to sync those two up so that you could experience like how I actually sang. I'm not the best at it, and I'm not like finding excuses just to say that, yeah, I'm pretty good at singing. It wasn't my fault that I sang bad at the karaoke. Because as I've also said on the karaoke stream, I want to enjoy this more. So maybe I'll practice, or maybe I'll try streaming if I stream karaoke. Next time I stream karaoke, maybe I should try removing my headphones and just playing the audio of the music that I was following with on speakers. So I could still sing with the singers. I can't sing without the singers. With just the instrumentals, no, I cannot do that. But yeah, another thing that I noticed from the karaoke stream last week when I rewatched it is that I yapped so much. Oh my gosh, bro. That took most of my time. Next time, I should come more prepared in the karaoke stream. Have all of these set up beforehand. Oh my gosh. A majority of the time that the stream was going on was just me yapping. That's kind of disappointing on my side. And another thing, this I can probably fully improve upon. Hopefully I fix this. But the karaoke audio was too weak. I basically didn't hear it. when I put it on speakers, me karaokeing, I know, kind of cringe, but I wanted to hear it from outside of my headphones just to observe it from different methods of receiving the media with and without headphones. Without headphones, you basically don't hear the music anyway, so you literally just hear me, which exemplified the fact that I didn't sound like I was singing. But with headphones on, I can barely hear it. It's there, but it might as well not be there with how quiet it was. I initially thought the audio mixing was pretty good, but I guess not. Next time, hopefully I can fix it. Fix it. Just fix it. But yeah, hopefully I get to fix that. Here on my side in OBS, the what is it called again? The karaoke audio was in the green, and my audio usually was around yellow and red. So maybe if I do a karaoke stream again, the mixing part on the background music as well as the singers should be mid yellow to max yellow. I'm not sure. But another thing that I've noticed is right now I'm looking at my mic audio and it's reaching near the end of red, near 0. Which means I'm talking pretty loud. But while I was singing, I also took note to observe this. I also paid attention to this. I was looking at my audio output on OBS or audio input, whatever, my audio reading on OBS while I was singing, and I kept being just below the red, barely above the yellow, like around between -5 and -10. Every so often I do go above -5, but yeah, it happens rarely, and that really loud spike of me just makes it so that you couldn't hear the background music. Now I'm kind of tempted to edit the karaoke stream so that the background music is louder. But I'm kind of lazy and I'm not even gonna post it if I edit it. So I'm just gonna focus on editing other stuff, making thumbnails, scheduling stuff. And for the Patreons, actually, I've already posted stream schedules for the following weeks and the next month. And there are already disclaimers there, but I'm also just gonna say it here. That's not the final schedule. It's always subject to change with whatever happens in real life, like emergencies or government stuff, because I am planning to do some planning to have some of my IDs checked out while in the summer break. So whenever I do that, I'm gonna leave a space out for the stream, probably, if there is a stream on the day when I'm gonna do that. Also for college stuff, me and the nerds have been like prepping for college stuff, but we've been taking it easy. I think we should start taking it seriously now, or at least bit by bit start taking it more and more seriously. So when that starts, I should probably lower the frequency that I stream. So sorry, Patreon, sorry, public viewers. It's just the way it is. But the next thing we will look forward to then would be me graduating from college. When that happens, it's gonna be like fireworks all about. It's gonna be as if, what's a good metaphor? Like, you get all of your favorite foods on your favorite event. It might feel like that, or at least to me it will. I'm excited for when that happens. But for now, I really, really want to seize the moment. I think you can evidently tell that from the monthly schedule that I put out. You could see that it's very compact with at least 3 streams a week. So hopefully I can do those streams. I don't know what okay. I was thinking of a Filipino word and then I immediately forgot about it. I was gonna ask, I wonder what, or something like, I wonder what the English for that word is. And then while I was thinking about that sentence, I forgot what the Filipino word was. I'm illiterate, oh my gosh. But yeah, the stream was only supposed to be for behind the scenes of the Just Variety rebrand. The folder that I have, the videos that we just watched are on a folder named JV Patreon release videos. Also, another folder that has the actual files for these actual stuff, like the actual logo is named JV Rebrand. So Just Variety Rebrand. But yeah, the stream was only supposed to focus on talking about the behind the scenes of how I did these. And now it tangented off of me yapping. And we've already had a lot of yapping done the past couple of days. I think I've ran out of tank finally because there's no school to like bottle up the yap now. And whenever I'm not on school, I'm either streaming. If I'm not streaming, I'm talking to family. If I'm not talking to family, I'm talking to friends. So now is the time where yapping becomes probably a scarcity. And who knows, I might just be underestimating my yap again, like what I'm doing right now. Insane. But yeah, I think I'm gonna end the stream right here. That was a pretty good talk. That's for sure, though. And I hope you've come to appreciate the behind the scenes on how I made the logo, the banner, the intro, and the outro. I hope you've come to appreciate the actual products themselves as well, more than before. Because I certainly had fun breaking down how I did some of these. There were much shorter explanations that I had initially thought. But yeah, they were like they're pretty embedded on how I made these logos. And I'm pretty proud because I was able to still tell them apart, the individual ideas that I had while watching the videos that we had just watched, because that means, or at least to me, that my ideas, my inspiration, I guess, were still there. They were still very prominent in the design, and I think that's pretty good. Just I guess another way of looking at the JV stuff, the intro, outro, logo, and banner. So now whenever you look at it, you can just think about, oh, so that's why Jay put this and that intricate designs in this and that place, because he wanted to do the idea of this and that, mostly variety. But yeah, I hope you appreciated it as much as I did. And yeah, tomorrow, let's go back to school. I mean, math. Wait, there's no escaping. Yeah, it is math tomorrow. So yeah, everyone don't miss it. Tomorrow is math class, but mostly just for me. We're going to be trying to tackle math competition questions. Let's see how easy they are for someone who's been joining a lot of math and science competitions and whatnot tomorrow. I've had fun today, and speaking of appreciating the Just Variety stuff by looking at them, here's the outro. Bye everyone, thank you so much for watching. I've had fun tangenting off of yapping. I feel like I had more fun yapping. No, I'm just kidding. I had fun both yapping and breaking down how I did the JV rebrand stuff. It's gonna be a mouthful to enumerate all of this stuff again. But yeah, let's end the stream off. That was pretty fun. I'm gonna probably take rest from working out. But yeah, see you guys tomorrow. I'm excited. Math questions. Imagine I just humiliate myself. But yeah, no. Okay, for real. I need to practice this. I need to practice like actually ending the stream and not yapping. But yeah, bye everyone. Thank you for visiting the stream. Take care. Bye bye.